Everyone thought that he was a pathetic loser with the worst skill, but he turns out to be the strongest hero alive after he awakens his special skill. Light was an average boy living in a fantasy world alongside her childhood friend Lena, who always wanted some benefits alongside being friends. Light, on the other hand, was a total Sigma whose only goal was to become an adventurer and save the world. In this fantasy world, everyone gets to eat a special magic fruit once they become an adult, which gives them a special ability. Finally, Light and Lena's time to awaken their special abilities arrives. They get ready in the church while a nun tells them about the rules, which are very simple. Don't be stupid and eat more than one fruit, as that will result in instant death. Lena is shocked to learn this, but Light already knows about it and claims that there are many people in the world who wanted to be adventurers, but ended up getting skills that were not suited to the role. Since every famous adventurer has a role suited for combat, many such losers decided to eat another fruit, which ended up killing them immediately. Lena, however, has no such plan, as she simply wants to spend her life with Light, so she goes ahead on the altar and takes a bite of the fruit from the platter. Immediately, her body starts heating up as it glows with a beautiful white glow. The nun quickly uses her magical eye ability to check her stats and is shocked to see that she has gotten the skill of a sword saint, which is an incredibly rare and incredibly strong skill which was last seen 10 years ago. Light is overjoyed by this and immediately walks up to the altar, expecting something similar, but when he takes a bite of the fruit, it is much more underwhelming, as the nun announces that the skill he got is called Fruit Master, which will let him grow fruits more efficiently, basically making him a farmer. Light immediately breaks down on his knees as he wonders what the hell will he do with his life. But Lena is on her side, as she claims that she will help him build the farm and work alongside him. The nun, however, doesn't like it and immediately shouts at Lena to stop being a hoe, since an ability like the Sword Saint is incredibly rare and can help the kingdom do great things. She tells her that she needs to leave for the royal capital immediately to begin her training. Light watches helplessly as Lena is escorted out of the church while he returns back to his boring life, and 3 months pass by as he starts working as a gardener, growing fruits and vegetables in his compound. He gets angry at himself for not being able to do anything apart from growing fruits, but he has no other choice, so he simply takes his fruits and sells them at the market. While walking back to his house, he notices a couple of posters on the wall with the picture of Lena all over it, since she has already become an S-ranked adventurer, and that too in record time. He feels bad about how he is still just a lonely loser, so he returns back to the forest and starts hacking away at a tree stump with his sword, trying to release his pent-up rage, but his pathetic gets hurt in the process and falls to the ground like a total idiot. He wonders whether Lena will even remember him at this point, when suddenly a lowly named Isla appears in front of him, asking whether he wants to come home for dinner. It turns out that she is his flatmate whom he took in recently. The old village chief was hiding Isla from the FBI, and he practically forced Light to take her in, but he doesn't really mind it since she helps him with the chores. Once they return home and start eating dinner, Isla asks Light about his haul today. He tells her that he got a good amount for the fruits he produced, especially for the skill fruits that he has started to grow recently. On realizing that the lowly may have no idea how important and potentially dangerous skill fruits are, he tells her that he has kept them in separate boxes marked with the danger sign. Light tells her that no matter what she does, she shouldn't eat the skill fruits without his permission, but unfortunately, it is too late for that. Isla tells him that she already added a couple of the skill fruits to the stew because they looked delicious, and Light freaks out. He remembers the Holy Sister's warning that anyone who eats a second skill fruit dies, and as his body starts feeling hot, he realizes his time has come. He falls to the ground and tells Isla not to blame herself for this, but then this drama queen realizes that nothing's happening to him. Instead, he feels energy surrounding his body, and a new skill called Sword God awakens inside him. But he doesn't know about it yet. Light wonders why did he not die, when suddenly, Isla starts feeling the heat as her skill manifests too. She gets an appraisal type skill, and as she looks at Light, she reads the details of his Fruit Master's skill that makes him immune to the poison of the skill fruits. Light realizes that she also ate some skill fruits and got an appraisal type skill, but then Isla tells him the more important thing. She informs him that he has another skill called Sword God that makes him extraordinarily strong when he wields a sword. Light immediately rushes to his backyard to see if this is true and goes to face the tree stump again. He slashes at it, and not only does the stump gets cut in half, even the tree behind it is cut down. Light realizes that he is the only person in the world with 2 skills, and now he can finally become an adventurer. The next day, Light takes Isla with him to the Adventurer Guild in the city to register himself. He tells Isla to sit on a couch and wait for him, and as he goes to the receptionist, the lowly decides to gather as much information about other people's skills as she can to help Light. Suddenly, she hears a commotion as Light bumps into a guy who starts mocking him for being the fruit seller and asks what a loser like him is doing at the guild. Isla comes running to Light's side, who decides to ignore the blonde douchebag to talk to her. This angers the jerk, and he attacks Light without warning. But Light's reflexes have also gotten sharper after getting a new skill, and he easily blocks the attack. Everyone starts gossiping about how a measly farmer could parry the blonde's attack, and before he can get humiliated further, he decides to leave on the first mission with his party. After that, Light tells Isla that he has also got his first mission from the receptionist, and they also head outside. Soon, they find a slime just minding its own business, and Light decides to defeat it. Isla can use her appraisal skill on the slime to tell that it has got higher defensive power than other slimes, but that doesn't make any difference to Light. He draws his sword and rushes ahead at the slime, using the devastating power from his sword god skill to split it in half. He then tells Isla to cut a part of the slime to take back to the guild as proof, when suddenly, they hear some loud cries coming from nearby. It is the blonde asshole and his team who are facing a giant ogre right now. They didn't expect to face such a high-level monster on their first day, and they are shitting their pants when Light calls them, asking if they are fine. Blondie suddenly gets an idea, and he runs towards Light, hoping to use him as a decoy to stop the ogre. His team joins him too, and they run past Light. The ogre chases them, but as he sees Light, he accepts him as his target. Light is thrilled by this, because he wanted to test out his skills against a real enemy anyway. The ogre attacks him first and Light dodges his heavy blow. Isla tells him to be careful because he doesn't get any defensive buffs from the skill Sword God, and he is going to die with just one hit. Light can't back down just because of this because he wants to catch up to Lena as fast as possible. So he enchants his sword with his skill and then lunges at the ogre, killing it with one swing of his sword. Later, he returns to the guild with the ogre's horn as his proof, and even Blondie's party members tell the receptionist that they saw him kill an ogre in one hit. The receptionist is really perplexed and asks Light to wait while she gets someone to look at the horn, when suddenly, the entire guild's attention goes to the gate. Light learns that the S-rank party named Sacred has returned from a successful mission, and Lena is one of members of this party. He immediately pushes through the crowd to talk to Lena, but she turns back and asks him who the hell is he. She walks away with that rude answer and Light is left dumbfounded. He wonders if really forgot about him so soon when she has been simping over him for all her life. Isla thinks that he is behaving weirdly because he is hungry and tells him that they should go to the market and get some pizza. They go to the pizza place in the market, and Light decides to stuff himself to forget about Lena. He eats too hastily and starts choking on the pizza, when suddenly, a girl hands him a glass of water. After he has calmed down, Light turns to thank her, and he is shocked to see that it is Lena. She shuts his mouth before he can scream her name, and then sits down next to him. Light asks her what the hell is she doing here, and she asks him why was he at the guild first. Light tells her the detailed story of how he awakened a second skill, and now he is a full-fledged adventurer. Lena is really happy that he can finally achieve his dream, but when Light asks her about her party named Sacred, she suddenly gets gloomy. She says that the party is just a group of people put together by the Holy Sister from the church, and though the pay she receives is good, the work atmosphere is terrible. She warns Light to stay away from the party for his own good, and he asks if that is why she acted like she didn't know him earlier. He wonders what could even be the problem with the party, and Lena recalls a story from a couple months ago. Their party was fighting a huge snake monster, and the magician attacked it with a powerful fire spell. The snake was defeated, but the flames burned the farms of the farmers living in the area. Lena was really upset about this, but her party leader Grouse told her to stop worrying about the peasants. He said that they can always grow more crops, but what matters is that they won't die because of the giant serpent. Lena was not satisfied and she went to the nun to complain, but she also didn't care about the people at all. She told Lena that no one will remember the farms that burned, but everyone will remember how her party slayed the giant snake. As Lena thinks about it now, she falls silent. Light doesn't know the details, but he asks her to join his party if she is not comfortable in her current party. Lena tells him that she is fine even though she has started tearing up. and as soon as Light notices that, she runs away. Later that evening, Light returns to the guild and gets 10,000 gold for killing the ogre. But he is not happy because he is still thinking about Lena. Isla tells him that if he is so worried, he can just talk to her party leader Grouse, who is partying with some gold diggers right now. Grouse is in a premium suite nearby, telling some bitches about how he slayed a giant bear monster with his flaming sword today. Just then, the receptionist goes there and says that the locals of the area have complained that his attack dried up their only source of water. Grouse tells her that such things are unavoidable because he is just too strong, and he doesn't care about the peasants because they are just ants like him. As soon as he hears this, Light barges into the room and tells Grouse to let Lena leave his party because she won't stand for the things he is doing. Grouse just calls the guards and throws Light out of the room, saying that useless cannon fodders don't belong in S-rank suites like this one. The next day, Grouse and his party get ready to leave on another mission, but Light's words are still ringing in Lena's head. She tells Grouse that she wants to leave this party and become an adventurer according to her beliefs, but he uses his skill god Speed to appear right in front of her and points his sword at her. Lena knows that she can't fight against him even with her sword saint skill, so she doesn't bother trying. Grouse then slaps her to the ground, telling her that she is not going to leave this party, and they are going to save the world just like he wants to. Lena is too traumatized to even say anything, and soon, she heads outside with her party to slay another monster. The people outside cheer for them, but Lena is completely dejected. Suddenly, she sees Light and Isla standing in her party's way, because they are here to ask her to join them. Lena has not yet forgotten the slap from the morning, and she tells Light to forget about her, but he refuses. He then challenges Grouse to a duel and says that he will have to let Lena go if he loses. Grouse refuses to even consider accepting his challenge, but when Light says that the one who chickens out first is gay, he takes it personally. He accepts the challenge and says that if he wins, Light will be banned from the Adventurers Guild for his whole life. Light gladly takes up the offer despite Lena pleading with him to reconsider since no one can defeat Grouse. Meanwhile, Isla assesses Grouse and finds that his skill god Speed allows him to move very fast. Light decides to reveal that he has 2 skills, but Grouse tells him that it is impossible. With that, the duel begins and Grouse immediately gets close to Light and attacks him. Light blocks the attack through sheer instincts, but he can't do anything besides that as Grouse keeps pushing him back. Light somehow defends everything, but then his sword is destroyed. Grouse tells Lena that if she becomes his slave for life, he will spare this idiot, but Light hits her with the infamous, "Nah, I'd win." Lena suddenly decides to take her stance, and she goes to stand by Light to show her faith in him. This pisses Grouse off, and then Light decides to replace his broken sword with a broom, which hurts his ego even more. He says that Light will pay dearly for treating this duel like a joke and dashes at him. On the other hand, Light imagines that the broom is a sword, and he decides to stop watching Grouse's movements and swing his weapon just by feeling, and sending him crashing into a wall. No one can believe what they just saw, and Light tells the remaining members of Sacred that they will meet the same fate if they mess with him. He then turns to Lena and tells her that she is free to do whatever she wants now. He once again asks her to join his party, and Lena gladly takes his hand. After that, Light and Isla start living at Lena's house and set up a small farm there. Things seem peaceful for the time being, but then a messenger comes from the nun, who tells Lena that she has been summoned to talk about her leaving Sacred. Lena refuses to meet the nun, and even when the messenger tells her that she won't receive the special benefits she was getting earlier, she is fine with it. That gets her and Light on the holy nun's bad side, and when they go to the guild, they are offered only low-paying odd jobs like finding lost kittens and exterminating rats in sewers. However, Lena gladly accepts all these low-level jobs as long as she gets to work with Light. They help villagers with construction, fight rats and rescue cats, which earns them just enough money to afford 3 pizzas at the end of the day. Lena is happy despite that because she always wanted to help people with her powers. She thinks that Light will not be satisfied with this, but he tells her that he had a lot of fun too. He then suggests that they name their party Luxuria, the Incomplete Light, and both Isla and Lena agree to it. The 3 of them swear to become world-famous adventurers who help people, and mark it as the official start of their party. The next day, Light and his party head to the guild, where the receptionist has an urgent quest for them. Light gladly accepts the job even without hearing what it is, and Lena asks the receptionist about the monster they are supposed to fight. The receptionist has no idea about it, and she claims that they just have a problem to solve, and it is not yet known if a monster is behind it. She states that it started 2 months ago when a party of adventurers went to a foggy valley in the north to survey the monster population there, but they didn't return. The guild sent a search party to look for them, and then they went missing too. They sent another search party to look for the missing search party, but guess what? They also didn't return. The receptionist says that 18 adventurers, all of B or a rank, have gone missing, and then hands a list containing their info to Lena. She is shocked to see that 2 of her mentors who taught her how to become an adventurer are among the missing people. They were both quite skilled, and she worries about the thing that sent them missing in action. The receptionist says that their only clue is that all the people went missing around the castle of the former Count of Montes, who was a wealthy adventurer back in the day, but he passed away a long time ago. She then informs them that the condition to complete the mission is finding the lost adventurers and finding the cause behind this problem. She knows that it is really dangerous for their party, but it was decided by the higher-ups. Lena doesn't think that they should take this quest, but Light wanted exactly a mission like this for clout's sake. Soon, the 3 of them reach the castle of the former Count. As they are walking on a narrow path on the side of a steep slope, the capitalist pig inside Light wakes up as he sees the giant castle up close. He says that adventurers really make a lot of money, and he hopes to have a mansion this large in the future. Isla begins jumping on hearing that they will be filthy rich one day, but that breaks the narrow strip they were standing on. She falls down, and in the process of catching her, both Light and Lena fall prey to gravity as well. Luckily, Light uses the wind pressure from his sword swing to ease their landing, but as soon as they hit the ground, they are surrounded by monsters. Light immediately takes one monster down, and only then Lena tells this trigger-happy idiot to look at the monsters before attacking. Light sees that the monsters are actually the missing adventurers who have turned into mindless zombies, and he loses his mental balance. Isla uses her analysis skill and tells Light and Lena that these people are really zombies, and any living person they bite will become a zombie too. She can read the skills that the zombies have, and they match the skills of the missing adventurer. Light starts feeling guilty about offing a human just now, and he is so engrossed in his thoughts that he doesn't notice a zombie attacking him. Luckily, Lena has his pitiful ass covered, and she slashes the zombie in half, sending his soul to afterlife. She tells Light that it is no time to go on a guilt trip, and suggests that they should head inside the castle, because if there are any survivors, they should be there. However, what awaits them inside the castle are even more zombies. Lena dashes straight towards the zombie horde and begins taking them down quickly, while the dumbass Light stands back and does commentary like an incel. After a while, he decides that he can't let a girl do all the heavy lifting, so he joins the fight as well, but that leaves Isla without protection. A zombie knight approaches her from behind, and Lena manages to take it down before the lowly is hurt. Light realizes that this happened because he was too careless, and if he had joined the fight earlier, Isla would never have been in danger. While he is doing this self-analysis, Lena tells him that they should move to the second floor now. Light has a question before that. He says that only 18 adventurers went missing, but there are way more zombies here. Lena suggests that some of them might have been here before the adventurers went missing, and that makes Light even more curious about this place. As they head inside the castle, they are ambushed by a group of zombies in the hallway, and these zombies are faster and smarter than the ones they met outside. Light asks Isla if she can use her analysis skill on them, and she does so to find that these zombies have been tamed. Light realizes that someone is controlling these zombies to attack them, and then suddenly, he sees some fine threads glistening in the dim light. Isla says that she can see magic flowing through the threads into the zombies, and now Light is sure that this is how the mastermind is controlling the zombies. He leads the way to where the threads lead them, and soon, the party arrives in front of a door. Light opens it cautiously and finds that it leads to a party hall. Suddenly, he hears a female voice coming from the other end of the hall, and a redhead girl wearing a swimsuit comes ahead to welcome him. The girl introduces herself as Dratna, an elite warrior from a dark organization called the Black Swan. Light draws his sword to face her, and Dratna summons a bunch of zombies to help her in the fight. Isla analyzes her, and finds that Dratna's skill is necromancy, and she can also use the skills of the zombies she controls. Light thinks that Dratna is also here on the guild's order to look for the missing adventurers, and she just scoffs at this moron who has yet not realized that she is an enemy. She tells him that she is here to kill the Fruitmaster and then sends 2 zombies at him from above. Light quickly slashes them down, and now he realizes that he has been caught up in a conspiracy because Dratna knew he would come here. Lena is also confused because she has never heard of the organization called Black Swan or of a skill called necromancy, but Dratna tells them to stop yapping and start fighting. She sends her zombies ahead, but Light and Lena have no trouble taking them down. Dratna decides to distract Lena for a while, so she sends 2 special zombies to fight her. They are her mentors, and as Lena sees them, she is overcome by emotions. However, they don't hold back at all and immediately attack her. Thanks to Isla, who alerted her in advance, Lena doesn't take any hits, but now the redhead has decided to eliminate Isla first. She sends some zombies after her, but Light immediately takes action to protect her. Zombies surround him and Isla, and Dratna makes them attack him relentlessly. Light protects Isla from everything, but he is tired now and the number of zombies don't seem to drop. On the other hand, Lena is having a hard time against her mentors. She can only dodge their attacks because she doesn't want to hurt the 2 people she respects the most. After being pushed back for a while, she comes up with an idea and cuts the strings that Dartina is using to control the 2. As soon as she does this, the 2 zombies fall limp, and their soul manifests before Lena, telling her to send them off quickly. With that, they return to their mindless bodies and try attacking her again. With tears flowing down her eyes, Lena dashes ahead at them, taking them down with a single hit. On the other hand, Light has been pinned against the wall as he keeps fighting the zombies. He is at his limit now and wonders how can there be so many zombies in an abandoned building. Isla looks at Dartina's skill and says that she can't create zombies, so it means there must be dead bodies nearby. She begins scanning the ground to find a clue, but that irritates Dartina, who decides to deal with the lowly first. She sends a zombie to attack her from behind, but Light manages to protect her in the nick of time. He calls Dartina a coward for attacking a girl, but she tells him that no one gives a shit about morality in the real world. Light realizes that at this rate, he will get worn out and the situation will get worse for him. However, if he decides to attack, he will have to leave Isla behind. Suddenly, he gets an idea and makes Isla climb on his shoulders piggyback style so that he can defend her while fighting Dartina directly. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and watch the video on your screen next.